But let's talk about another team that has been historically bad of late. The Baltimore Orioles. They have flipped the script on us. So they have clinched a winning season for the first time since 2016. They will not be making the playoffs. They did get eliminated. We'll get to more on that later. But they are the first team to lose 100 games and then have a winning record the next season since 1899. And Three Fingers McGee, that's not his name, was pitching for
Spiffy McGee.
Spiffy McGee was pitching for the New York Bridegrooms Brig. That was the last time.
Was it Three Finger Brown?
I think his name is Three Finger Brown.
Yeah, I think so.
It's one of my favorite nicknames, so I like to use it as my my go-to. Same thing with the Bridegrooms, because that's such an old school name.
It's so good. Yeah. So what's interesting about this is that nobody saw this coming. We expected Baltimore to lose like 80 or so games and maybe not be as bad as they were last season, but not this good, not to have a winning record. I didn't see them having a winning record
or contending for the playoffs down to the last weekend.
I know. It's like they were eliminated with like 3 games left.
Mm-hmm.
It was that close. I don't know. It's so much fun. It's fun to watch. So, and this flies in the face of all the things we've been saying about fun differential and all the things we just mentioned about with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. This must have something to do with front office management, with developmental systems, with all. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, and it is interesting too that at the trade deadline they trade away Trey Mancini, and everybody was like, "What are you doing?" We were killing them. Everybody, the collective were killing the Orioles for trading away their best player, or at least their who we thought was their leader. And then they go on and they continue to win. They were almost better without him, and
almost better.
I don't think Trey Mancini has anything to do with that. Like, I'm not saying that he was like a problem or anything, because he's obviously not.
No.
I think that it's more of like the makeup of the team, right? That they replaced him with another plus player.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Yeah. Well, and they brought in other plus players that I mean, you can say they gambled on, but I feel like the 4 to 5 years that it takes to make it through the minor league system is you can't, like, is it a gamble? Is it really a gamble when you know what you're getting from a guy like Rutschman? You still don't know how he's going to perform in the bigs. You just don't, especially as a catcher and as young as he is. Like, that's different. I think Gunnar, you bring in Gunnar and it's a little more normal. What is he? Isn't he third baseman? You get a guy, but he's not a catcher. The point is he's not a catcher. Right? Catcher is just such a difficult position to come in as a rookie and to have this big of an impact. It shows maturity. He has skill. He's a switch hitter. He's so much fun, and he commands this whole thing. I think a lot of it has to do with Rutschman.
Yeah, so you got Gunnar Henderson as a second baseman for the Orioles. But I think Adley Rutschman, though, is the key to the whole thing, though, because they didn't even start winning until he came up.
Nope.
Once he arrived, then everything turned around. And I mean, I talk all the time about Mike Zunino in Tampa Bay, because I saw him in Seattle, the role that he played, and the significance of his leadership on that team. And Cal Raleigh, to this day, since he came back up after being demoted earlier this year, that he's a key piece to the Mariners as well.
Yeah,
and I think Adley Rutschman is going to be the cornerstone to that Orioles franchise for a lot of years, and they're going to contend. They may not make the playoffs every year because they're in one of the best divisions of baseball, but they'll keep up.
I don't know though, with the new unified schedule, with fewer division games, and
true,
you don't know, man. This is going to change everything.
It will. It'll change a lot. But I still think that the Yankees and Blue Jays are going to win a lot of games, though, is the thing.
I think so.
That the Orioles are going to have to win a lot of games, too. And I think that they'll at least contend with that. So,
yeah, with this new schedule situation could put us in could make it so either all of those East and West divisions stack up even harder.
They could.
or it'll iron things out a little more. But I don't know. It's going to go one of either
they're
two ways.
they're going to get more games against the AL Central is the thing.
That's
So,
exactly right.
That'll help pad the schedule or pad the record a little bit. But,
all right.
yeah, it's interesting. Keep an eye on the Orioles over the next few years. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch.